You know, Alan, you and I are of a certain age, and we've attended a lot of conferences in our many years. And I got to say, this is a fascinating, just in terms of how meetings come together, to have this kind of flexibility so that participants can essentially set the agenda and revise the agenda. How new is this, and how popular is this type of unconference for meetings that are happening in this day and age?
So the whole camp concept, which is the conference, the unconference, was originated by a group called Bar Camp, which was, I guess, an outgrowth of the O'Reilly Media's Food Camp, which they were invited to at one point and then no longer invited to, so they created Bar Camp. And they went so far as to do the opposite of everything Food Camp was all about. Instead of having a preset conference agenda, they did this free-form, on-the-fly conference. And so it started out, it's got to be, I think almost 10 years ago at least, where it was mostly coders doing it, programmers, software programmers. And then it expanded, and pretty soon you started having, instead of Bar Camp for coders, you had Cooking Camp and E-Democracy Camp and Roots Camp. And I've even heard that there's such a thing called Camp Camp, where people go to a conference out in the woods and they all camp, and during the day they have self-organized panels about how to build a fire or how to pitch a tent. So it goes all over the place. But it's been really very much adopted by the tech politics and tech advocacy community. We've had Roots Camp, which are progressive organizers, and I think I did a show interviewing people from Roots Camp last year. You have E-Democracy Camp, you have Transparency Camp. We've even had Crisis Camp, which brought together all of the crisis management professionals from the domestic and international spaces, which had never actually talked to each other in conference form before. And they brought them together in a way to really brainstorm lessons from, domestic and international experiences.
It's fascinating stuff. Alan, I can't let you go without asking about the big, story, I think, both on social media and the rest of the media, was Jason Collins this week. The NBA basketball player came out to announce that he is gay, first in Sports Illustrated, and then a series of follow-up interviews. What did you make of that story? And is there anything in terms of how it played out on social media that took you by surprise or that you think we ought to know about?
Well, one thing, I think it's great that finally it's happened. It's been interesting that Necessary Roughness, the TV show on USA Network about the psychologist who works for a football team and ends up having a series of high-profile sports clients, is taking up the issue on the show this week as well. I think it's it was only a matter of time before it happened. Probably should have happened a long time ago, but it seems like the fact that it happened in real life in sports is, I think, indicative of the culture and the evolving public opinion on gay marriage and on gay rights, and so that's been a big issue, big catalyst on the offline world. And I think what you see on the online world is that the whole LGBT activist community has been very, very well organized on Twitter and social media for many years, both not just at the organizational level, but the individual level, and that it goes way beyond the activist community. Their lifestyle and just people who just are gay, and they're on Twitter, and that's part of who they are. They're out, and it's part of the conversation. And I think what you end up seeing is there's a ready-made audience of people who've already of the community and friends with the community and friends of friends, and that pervasive cultural shift, I think you can see it online as well as offline.
Absolutely. Alan Rosenblatt, Dr. Digipole on Twitter. Alan, have a great weekend, my friend. Thanks as always. Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you, David. Take care.
Enjoy the conference. Alan Rosenblatt from the Transparency Camp right here in Washington, D.C. Alan, thank you as well. Coming up, folks, our Activist of the Week. We got a good one for you. Stick around. You're listening and watching the Take Action News on We Act Radio.